All right, so we're on all fours. We've figured out where we are. We've done our setup. Our hands are in line or under the mass of the shoulders. Make sure you're resisting the gravity of the floor. Now, similar to the exercise that we were doing with the bridging, with the toe lifting and the shifting of the weight, it's where our attention goes when we're learning something, meaning that we can only kind of hold maybe 3 things in our brain at once. And if I start talking about pineapples, you're going to start thinking about pineapples. So again, developing your inner teacher. So what I want you to do, the goal is I don't want any movement through the torso at all. Putting things on you, and you're not allowed to drop them.
Okay.
So you can put some things on you at home. So don't let them drop. Okay. All right, now bring all your attention back to your left hand again. Granted, you've done your setup, your pelvic floor is switched on, your transverse is switched on. Float your left hand and just come up onto the fingers. Beautiful. Bring them back down again. Slowly, slowly, slowly go to shift your weight into your right hand.
The weight into your
right. So no, we're going to float it, aren't
we?
So bring all your attention to your right hand, and then it goes into fingers, and then back down again. This is way too easy with those blocks, isn't it?
Yes.
Bring your attention towards your left hand. So what I'm hoping you're feeling is a cross sling through the underside of the stomach. So walk those fingers forward, and then bring them back. Do your little spider walk. Slowly shift your weight into your left hand as you float your right hand, spider finger walk your right hand forward. And then bring it back. And same thing on the left side. And bring it back. No. So let's keep the hands still. So the legs will be, bring your attention towards your right knee, anchor into your right knee, slide your left knee back. Just going to slide it on the table and then bring it back. Slowly, slowly, slowly bring your weight into your left knee. Slowly slide your right one back. So you can see how your hips just dropped a little bit there. And slowly shift and slide your left back. So what essentially is a really basic, simple movement, if you actually think about it properly, it's actually quite a complex movement. This is easy, these blocks, but if I just put like a little hacky sack or something, it's going to be a lot harder to stabilize. So when we join all 4 together, it'll kind of look like this in your brain. Okay, so we've got a couple of little hacky sacks floating. We don't want these to fall off. We can cheat a little bit and just flatten them so they're not going to go anywhere. All right. Bring all your attention. So you've got this sensation of lengthening your tailbone and your head away from each other. Bring your attention towards your right hand as you anchor your weight into your right hand. Very slowly start to release your left hand and spider walk your fingers forward. Keep your fingers in contact with the ground and stop. Anchor into your left knee as you slide your right one back. Toe stays in contact with the floor. So your finger and your foot are still in contact with the floor. Now float them up away from the floor, and then let's just float them down and touch the floor. Tell our brain where we are in space again, and then just float them back up again. Now, can you hold them there? Now, movement here is perfectly fine in the sense that these are your stabilizers trying to bring you back to the center again to stop you from falling over. If at any point you need to bring your hand and foot down, do that. But notice what's going on in the shoulder that you're actually weight bearing into. Are you collapsing into that shoulder? What is going on? You see, and that's working really hard to stabilize. We've still got transverse switched on. We've still got a set of fingers in our hip bones. And let's just gently float them down onto that lily pad as we go through the transition. Now remember, the transition is when we become unstable. So as you take that shift weight back down into you, do the same thing in your brain. Bring your attention towards your left hand. Anchor into it slowly. Feel the cross slings working to stabilize you. Spider walk your right hand forward. Nice. Anchor, and let's slide the opposite leg back.
Whoa! I can feel that happening. Do it again. Okay. Oh, that's good. Okay.
So just up into that. There we go. And then let's slide this opposite one back. So I like to keep them in contact with the ground at first, then just float them up a little bit and kind of touch the table just to tell me where I am in space. Let them float. I've got one side that's a little bit more stable than the other. And then see if you can let them float and allow yourself to work to try and bring yourself back to the center all the time. And then float them back down again. Now, if you're not finding this challenging at all, you might want to do this. So let's do the other side again. So remember your inner teacher, remember your setup, where you are in space. Bring your attention towards one of your hands, anchor into it, spider walk the other one forward. Opposite leg is going to slide back. We're going to float them up off the ground. Excuse me. Okay. Yeah, this is easy. You can do this all day long. Lift your toes up on your supporting leg.
Okay.
Can you bend that leg up? And then we suddenly realise it's that anchored foot is doing all the work for us. And then bring that back down. So if you wanted to try that whole thing with knees and not feet, that will completely change it.
That's a game changer.
So then the other jump off point from there, because we like to know where things are going and where we're moving, is same leg, same side. So in this sense, the pelvis can move laterally, but you can't spill your bowl of water. So your bowl of water is like this now. So you're going to shift your weight laterally towards me. You're going to anchor into your left hand and your left knee. You're going to spider walk your right hand forward and slide your right leg back. Keep them in contact with the ground. So this is true oblique sling work, this stuff. Nice. I'm just going to take these off because that's just mean.
But I don't think I can lift that, could I?
Don't see she's collapsed into her shoulder, so we want to stay in that shoulder. Now can you float them up off the ground?
Yeah, but
so that's just change it all again.
Yeah,
there we go. And then you can have a little go on the other side, because what you might find is one side is accessible and the other side is not. So laterally shift, that's okay. You're going to have to do some lateral shift, otherwise you're going to fall over.
Yeah.
Spider walk, extend the leg, keep them in contact with the ground, and then just float them up, maybe just a little bit, but just a tiny bit.
Yeah.
And you yeah, no, it's not happening.
Crikey. That's cool.
And then sink your butt back and have yourself a little stretch.
Practicing that home.
Beautiful. So that's just all fours. And then we can jump up from there.